Welcome back everyone to the Sim Racing Show, your weekly dose of all of the biggest news in sim racing. And this week, Assetto Corsa EVO has now dropped update 0.1.5, which restores online functionality and brings a new driving academy, special events and full car ownership. But while customization is finally here, connectivity issues still haunt the game and AI improvements remain absent. We're going to get into that. Meanwhile, Gran Turismo 7 has brought 4 new cars, a little bit controversially, and Forza Horizon 5, it's fair to say, has shocked the world by launching on PlayStation. If you haven't heard of that, I'm going to let you know all about it. Plus, Le Mans Ultimate has delayed its next DLC. Why? Need for Speed Unbound has ended content updates. What does this mean? And EA Sports WRC could finally, potentially, maybe be winning fans over with a strong new content pack. We'll also take a look at Ridge Racer 64's return on Switch and what Microsoft's multi-platform shift could mean for the future of racing games, including sim racing. It's a massive week in sim racing. Let's jump straight in. So after a rocky, if it's fair to say, early access launch, Assetto Corsa EVO has finally restored online functionality with update 0.1.5, bringing back Driving Academy, special events, car customization, and in-game economy working properly for the first time. Players can now own cars, own them instead of just selecting them, and customization options are now fully enabled. They say the update also improves VR performance, but I'm going to be testing that very specifically. Collision physics at tracks like Suzuka and Laguna Seca and audio issues should have been improved, most notably the Honda S2000. There's now penalty checks for jump starts, leaderboards, special events, and they say UI refinements have also been addressed. I'm a bit cynical about it. I think the UI is still very bare bones. I've been speaking about this a lot. I think they need to improve some important aspects of the game. So although this marks a big step forward, some players are also still reporting connectivity issues and the AI improvements are still pretty terrible in places. But with these fixes, Kunos are making strides in shaping EVO into the complete sim experience. However, I think it's going to take longer than initially planned. Massive news from PlayStation fans. Before that, I want to say a big thank you to GT Omega for sponsoring this video. Big thank you to GT Omega. By the way, they've just launched a new bucket seat, the Chase V2. A bucket seat can be one of the most underrated upgrades in sim racing, and I've been using my GT Omega bucket seat for a long time now. So if you want to check out bucket seats or any other sim racing equipment, go to gtomega.com. Use my code Kireth5 if you decide to buy anything, because it'll give you an extra 5% off. Big thanks to GT Omega. Forza Horizon 5 is officially coming to PlayStation 5 this spring. This marks the first time the Horizon Festival welcomes a new community of players on Sony's platform. So developed by Panic Button in collaboration with Turn 10 Studios and Playground Games, the PS5 version will include all previously released content, expansions and car packs, alongside full crossplay with Xbox and PC. To celebrate, a new free content update, Horizon Realms, will arrive on all platforms, featuring a curated selection of fan-favourite evolving worlds and other surprises. So coming in the spring to Sony's digital storefront on PS5, Forza Horizon 5 does represent maybe the biggest example of Microsoft pivot to publishing first-party games on all consoles, possibly a sign that the company will eventually step back from launching new hardware altogether. With nearly 900 cars, 40 updates, and expansive gameplay, PlayStation players can now experience the vibrant open world of Mexico in Forza Horizon 5. I can't even believe this news. Forza coming to PlayStation just would not have made sense in 2006, 2010, 2015, 2020. But for some reason, it makes sense in 2025. And I just wonder, is Forza Motorsport going to follow suit? Let me know in the comments. If you're a biggest fan of playing Gran Turismo 7 on PlayStation, Polyphony Digital has released another free Gran Turismo 7 update, completely, I would say, overshadowed by the Forza Horizon news. But the January update added some physics adjustments that came out of the blue, fresh challenges, and also 4 new cars. Now, a bit controversially, there's some cars they keep adding, or types of cars, that no one seems to really enjoy, and I'm going to explain why. But they have added the Gran Turismo F3500A, which is like a concept retro F1 car, but also the Hyundai Ioniq 5N and the Toyota CHR. Now, I have to say, I think road cars are not particularly exciting to drive in Gran Turismo 7, and this is a big problem. Assetto Corsa EVO is doing a much better job of road cars. So if Gran Turismo can improve the physics like they've been trying to do, Hopefully they'll make road cars more exciting to drive, and then it'll make sense why they're adding so many kind of ordinary road cars to the game. By the way, Sport Mode did get an update as well. They upgraded it with a higher driver rating cap, and they say they've also added some quality of life improvements, which includes updated physics and new challenges. So, Gran Turismo is making the right noises in terms of adding quality of life that we've always wanted and needed, but I think a big overhaul is needed to make these road cars exciting to drive. They feel a bit like comedy cars in Gran Turismo, like wallowing all over the place. However, if you prefer playing on Nintendo over PlayStation, good news for you. We don't often talk about Nintendo, but there's a retro-filled expansion pack that gained another classic racer at the end of last week, which is Ridge Racer 64. So Ridge Racer 64 is now on the Nintendo Switch, which is a absolutely classic racing game. It's got traditionally fast-paced Ridge Racer gameplay and 4-player split-screen multiplayer on Switch. So if you do have a Switch and you're a racing fan, just letting you know that Ridge Racer 64 is available. Now, it's not such a lucky day if you're a Need for Speed fan. And by the way, the Need for Speed franchise is so historic in racing games. It's one of the longest franchises going. I think a lot of us don't appreciate that. And the latest game, Need for Speed Unbound, has officially reached the end of content updates. So developer Criterion confirming that Volume 9 was its final release. It introduced a series first ever motorbike, the first ever motorbike in Need for Speed, and the climatic peak, they called it, of Unbound's live service. They also launched an Ultimate Collection that's pretty common these days, where they bundled all the post-launch paid content together. We talked about that with Forza Horizon last time. Now, sadly, Criterion is now shifting entirely to Battlefield. So there's no Need for Speed game in active development. Remember, this used to be like a yearly franchise. I think it's a really sad thing that there's no Need for Speed in development. Need for Speed Shift and Need for Speed Shift 2, we're definitely going more in the sim racing side of the spectrum. But EA have said that there'll be new and interesting experiences in Need for Speed in the future. Not sure I believe them, it is EA. Let's get to Le Mans Ultimate. So Le Mans Ultimate's Pack 4 DLC, which was set to include the Losail International Circuit and 4 LMGT3 cars, has been delayed. Now, Motorsport Games claim this is down to the Qatar track, which is apparently not ready to be released, with features like driver swaps and custom liveries also postponed. Not good news, alarm bells ringing. The DLC delay also revealed Motorsport Games' new plan for Le Mans Ultimate. The Pack 4 DLC will now contain 2 LMGT3 cars, plus a third one for free, but it should still arrive in February, and there's now going to be a 5th DLC pack in May, including the 2 remaining GT3 cars and Losail. So more costs, presumably, by more DLC packs, unless you'd bought the season pass. Are they trying to encourage people to get the season pass? Are they now seeing an opportunity to get more DLC? Now, there's been an update for EA Sports WRC. The game launched with a huge amount of graphical issues, wasn't good in VR as well, all sorts of stuttering. But EA Sports WRC say they've turned the narrative over the last year or so. To be honest, I don't really believe them. I think they've trashed the rally game. I think Dirt was in such a strong place. I think EA have destroyed all of the goodwill there. But I'm going to cover this anyway. Le Maestros content pack is a second major update. It includes 6 new cars, 2 real-world stages, Briancone and the iconic Faf, priced at a competitive £8.99. Apparently the community response has been largely positive, but I just think at a high level, what are EA Sports doing to the Dirt franchise? It's like, it was such a fun franchise. It was breaking beyond rallying, and they've just done a terrible job with it. I'm really sad about it.